Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's another round of F My Life. These are emails sent to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. But if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can call me right now at 600 KFMA. That's 600-5362. Weighing in on these F My Lives with me this morning is Rico and Kat.
What's up?
All right. What's your Instagram page again?
The Curious Cat with 3 T's.
3 T's.
Yeah, hiking tips and tricks.
There you go.
Sassy fun, you know?
Tips
Sassy.
and tricks. And what's the third T stand for?
Talent.
There you go.
Mm.
All right, let's get into our first F My Life situation, written to us by Sarah out on the east side. She said, today my friend staged an intervention. I'm not on drugs. I'm not an alcoholic. And I own my own house. My car is paid for. My job pays well. Apparently, I need an intervention because my life is not what they want it to be, which involves me being married with children.
Oh my God.
Yeah, F My Life. This is something that probably resonates with you, huh, Kat?
For sure. And also that, like, get new friends.
Yeah, no kidding.
Get
Right.
new friends.
Eliminate that circle.
Yeah, that's so toxic.
Well, maybe they all just have, like, a husband and kids, and they want someone to play at the park with.
Maybe they're in a sex
But
cult.
like an intervention? Get out of here.
All right, so F My Life.
Yeah.
F my life.
All right, Rico, you say yes, and and,
start over.
I do.
Hit the reset button.
I don't like that at all.
and they might be in a sex
Triggered.
cult. I like that. So yes, F My Life. All right, next F My Life situation, written to us by Kim. This is probably my favorite one in the morning. Today, I found a pair of women's underwear in the laundry that wasn't mine. I confronted my boyfriend about it.
Mm.
They were his.
Wait, for real?
For real.
I don't think that's F my life.
Good excuse.
Oh, yeah, you like that, huh?
I don't like it, but like, let's be
Mm,
open-minded.
Yeah, you sound like you don't hate it.
I mean, I'm just an open-minded person.
Yeah, you are.
Well, look at the range of men's underwear right now. It's very limited to cotton. Not much satin out there.
That's true. I mean, you can get satin boxer briefs, I'm sure,
Yeah.
on Amazon. You're not going to find them at Kohl's.
That's not true.
Kanye's line.
Yeah.
I know
knows?
everything about it.
You're revealing a lot right now.
You're
Kat.
learning so much about me.
Oh.
You gotta learn today.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Man, that's
What
funny.
happens when you bring me on this thing?
That's, is that why you're single now? Because you keep telling your boyfriends to wear women's underwear?
Am I single?
Oh, I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Okay.
Who knows? Mystery.
All right, that's fair. That's the next F My Life situation. I want to get to these F My Lives, but I got a story that popped up in my head of a buddy of mine, Nick, who was wearing a man thong. And, and he was working with me. We were doing labor. We're setting up a casino party, and he's in the back of the U-Haul bending over to pick up a heavy casino table. And
yeah.
I see the whale tail, essentially,
Mhm.
what you
Oh.
would see when someone's wearing a thong.
Sure.
And I say, are you wearing a thong? And he turns around to me and he goes, what the F do you say to me? I'm
Oh,
like, are you wearing a thong?
Let me repeat
And he
myself.
goes, oh, yeah. I'm like,
I love that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's funny.
that's I won KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Time for your morning moron. And this morning moron, I love this story so hard. In fact, actually, I felt like we already did this story. It was kind of weird in the morning moron because this will be reminiscent of a morning moron story that I told you not too long ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually, you'll see. This one it has to do with a 33-year-old woman from Kentucky
Okay.
named Crystal. Crystal from Kentucky.
Crystal.
Guess Crystal's drug of choice.
Meth?
Yeah.
That's
crack.
right. No, not crack. See, fail. Yes, you're right, Powers. Austin, you're wrong. Which is great, though, because later on when we give away tickets, you just have to beat Austin in a game. Should be easy enough. All right. So Crystal recently borrowed a sex toy from her neighbor in Kentucky.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then she refused to give it back. See, that's a story where we talked about this, but this actually happened in Florida, right? So I'm like, that's weird. Did they just change the location? No, completely different story.
Okay.
What makes it even weirder is that her neighbor is also her cousin.
Yeah.
And her cousin's a guy. Okay, so her male cousin had a sex toy. Crystal came over to the trailer one day and said, hey, you know that big sex toy you got? Let me borrow that sex toy.
Yeah.
I got some plans for it.
Yeah.
I'll give it back eventually.
Oh my God.
See, it sounds like Crystal fell in love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So her cousin, the dude, showed up to her place 2 Saturdays ago and was like, hey, I want my toy back. You know, I got Saturday night plans by myself. And she refused to hand it over. She told him to get off the property. Then, of course, grabbed a kitchen knife. With that kitchen knife, Crystal then stabbed her cousin.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yes. I'm telling you, this sex toy must be fantastic.
Apparently.
Yeah, it must vibrate and rotate.
Kentucky Fried sex toy.
There you go. She claims that he grabbed her by the elbow, and that's why she stabbed him. Because Crystal, you know, she don't like get grabbed by no elbow. Yeah, you grab him by the elbow, I'm going to have to stab you in the jugular.
With cousins.
It's a fair trade.
It's true.
That's Kentucky law 101. 101. And I'll let you see a picture of Crystal. There's Crystal. Very cute meth head.
Yeah, she's pretty cute meth head.
She looks like a crystal.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the cousin says she was just acting crazy and stabbed him as he was trying to leave. Luckily, he wasn't seriously hurt and refused medical treatment because in Kentucky, that costs too much.
Right.
Like, hey, I know I'm bleeding a lot. I know I need some stitches. But stitches sound like $300, and that's my life savings. I can't do that right now. I'd have to push my trailer across the street to the bad lot.
I got a really good sex toy if you want to rent it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as soon as she gets it back.
Yeah.
Crystal was sweeping her porch when police showed up, and this is the best part of the story. When police got out of the car, Crystal got into a fighting stance.
Oh, good.
Straight up
Nice.
UFC side. You want to go? Yeah. When they tried to arrest her, they eventually got her. Yeah, they eventually got her into custody, and now she's facing charges for assault, disorderly conduct, menacing, and resisting arrest. So, fantastic story from top to bottom. Thank you, Crystal.
My God. You know, they
Very
sell
good.
these things in Spencer Gifts now, I think. It's not exactly like
Sex toys?
Yeah. I was very, appalled. I grew up in the mall, and I noticed as Spencer Gifts started to get a little filthier, as Hot Topic was like, hey, we're starting to take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Spencer Gift went like kind of full adult, and it's like, wow, anyone of any age just walks in there. There used to be a curtain.
Yeah.
What happened to
It's
America?
2021 now.
What happened?
It's all open, man.
Stop being a prude, Powers.
Oh, I'm not. It's all about sexual liberation. They got to have it too. It's great.
Exactly.
Go with the program.
All right, there's your morning moron for the day. We're going to hit the reset when we come back. We're going to talk about how Cardi B was right about something. She may be a genius. It's crazy to say, but there is a theory that she threw out there that scientists are like, you know what? This whole bam! Oh, welcome to the podcast broadcast stream, everybody. Please welcome Justin Spears back to the show. And first time in a couple weeks, man's been busy.
Yeah.
Doing like press conferences and all that other
It's been a busy week,
sports
last couple weeks.
journalist stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? There's been a lot of different things you've been covering, right?
Yeah. So now, since it's November, we are at the meshing point, college football and college basketball season. So
Okay.
with the start of the Tommy Lloyd era, they had their exhibition win over Eastern Mexico a few nights ago. And then you also have Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team. Like, they're ranked in the AP top 25. They're expected to be one of the top Pac-12 teams again.
Killing
Expected to have another deep run in the NCAA tournament. So you have these two basketball teams. And then, you got this football team that's trying to get their first win in 20 games. So, man, there's been no shortage of content at the Arizona Daily Star. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, and
On ESPN Tucson.
right, nothing but talking to you. Were you excited about the Braves winning the World Series, or do you think the
Yes. No, I love the Atlanta Braves win the World Series, especially against the cheating Astros. Seeing Jose Altuve's face when the Atlanta Braves won the World Series, it was just absolutely priceless. But I will say this, good for Atlanta sports fans. After everything that they have been through, right? Like, we all think about the 28-3 meltdown in the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots,
Right.
when the Falcons lost. You think about last year when the Braves blew a 3-1 series lead to the LA Dodgers, who then went on to win the World Series. And they go up 3-1 in this World Series. Astros win a game, and you're like, here we go.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's going to happen again. But then the Atlanta Braves prevail. So I'm just so happy for Atlanta sports fans.
You know, I'm happy for the Braves too. I was a Braves fan as a kid. I played on the Braves, my little league team. And it seemed like there was a couple of years in a row where every team, I was on the Braves and I was on the A's. And whenever I was on that team, they would win the World Series. So I felt like I was the lucky charm they didn't know about. So it's good to see the Braves, win another World Series. Been long overdue. And the Astros lose, which is great. But I still haven't followed baseball. I kind of fell out of baseball a long time ago, which is disappointing. But it was all because of the strike.
He took that strike very personally.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were probably not even born yet Spears, but yeah,
Share
share.
that
What about the share? Yeah, I took you off the screen because we had an echo, and then you were just chatting along. Powers working behind the scenes. All right. If you didn't hear the tease, coming up next, we're talking about Robert Sarver. He's the owner of the Phoenix Suns. And I had a bone to pick with this guy for a long time. So to see this is not surprising and not too upsetting. So we'll talk about that right now on the radio. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. It's the podcast broadcast. And joining us this morning is ESPN Radio on 104.9 and 1490, Mr. Justin Spears. He's co-host of Spears and Ali, which airs each and every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. Good morning, Justin.
Buenos dias, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. I'm so glad you're in. I've been saving this story. I teased it and the show open, and I've been waiting 3 hours to break this down. It's the allegations of racism and misogyny within the Phoenix Suns inside Robert Sarver's 17-year tenure as an owner. These allegations are 100% strictly against him. What do you know about this before we get into it?
I mean, I've seen a number of people who have worked in the Phoenix Suns in the past have some beef with Robert Sarver. I know like Amin El Hassan, who I think he still works at ESPN now, but he's a NBA analyst. He used to work in the front office for the Phoenix Suns. I know there's definitely some sour ties between Amin and Robert Sarver.
Okay, then off the top of your head, what are some comments made by former employees in the past before this story made mainstream news that you've heard, like rumblings, so where you kind of saw this coming? It's on the horizon.
No, I never heard anything other than it was just a terribly run organization.
Yes.
Like a lot of people just wasn't a big fan of Robert Sarver and just how he operated.
Everybody knew that. The Phoenix Suns was a dynasty team and it was completely destroyed. And it wasn't until last year that there was any hope. And that the Suns were good. I mean, they took a franchise that was literally making the playoffs almost every single year for like 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then made them the worst team in the NBA for over a decade. I hated this guy.
Yeah.
And now I have reason to hate him again.
Yeah. But there's also, a number of people who have come to his defense in the past. I've actually had somebody message me on Twitter who's actually an employee of the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
And I will tell you this right now. He just said, "Hey, Justin, as an employee at the arena, and though I know the article is about Sarver, I just wanted to say from my experience of working almost 5 years at the arena, I've never came in contact with any of those problems for my coworkers and managers in the box office. It's a pretty fun place to work. And in my 5 years, I've never had problems in the workplace where people were racist or made inappropriate remarks."
All right. You know what? And I've heard the same thing. I was talking to a girl that I matched with online who actually worked in the arena, and she was so defensive of Robert Sarver because initially I was just like, screw that guy. And she's like, no, you don't understand. He's such a great guy, great boss. And she said nothing but great things about him.
And you know what? I guarantee one person who will tell you a lot of great things about Robert Sarver is Larry Fitzgerald.
Really?
Yeah, because Larry Fitzgerald is part owner of the Phoenix Suns. So he's at every single game. He's developed a close relationship with Robert Sarver. I mean, I remember going to McHale Center a few years ago and Robert Sarver and Larry Fitzgerald were sitting courtside together.
Yes.
Just watching, Arizona basketball. So those two have developed a great relationship. And I'm sure I haven't heard anything from Larry Fitzgerald. I don't know what he has to say about all this, but man, you hear a number of people who are coming to Robert Sarver's defense, but then you look at all the sources, credible sources in that story. A guy like Earl Watson, former head coach and former player. So,
right. Here's some of the confusing things that are being said about Robert Sarver. One former employee was in a meeting where Robert Sarver passed around a photo of his wife in a Phoenix Suns bikini. Now, Robert Sarver is a billionaire, so his wife is smoking hot. Mm-hmm. And they passed around that photo like a hot potato, right? And so that's one thing that they're complaining about because they said that was inappropriate. Now, Sarver responded that he was just showing his marketing team, what it looks like and probably showing off a little bit. There's a couple things that make me, I try to understand maybe his mindset. So more than a dozen employees recalled Sarver making lewd comments in all staff meetings, including discussing times when his wife would perform sex with him. Oh. That's inappropriate from a boss and a billionaire, but he's trying to be a boys club. He also talked about his need for Magnum condoms. So he's kind of bragging about this. Now, was this directed at anyone? Was he trying to make moves on a female employee? I don't think there's any allegations in this piece that I'm reading that says that. But, former female staffers say they have felt like women are possessions. Well, yeah, they're not possessions, but he is kind of a rich, entitled dude. So is it surprising that he would view women as possessions?
You mispronounced douche.
Okay, same difference. You're right.
But here's the thing, though, Beef.
Okay.
Mark Cuban's not doing this.
You're right.
Some of these great owners, Jeannie Buss is not doing that with the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, no owners are doing.
Well, she was banging
like this.
She was banging Phil Jackson, who was an employee.
Yeah, look at you.
That's different. That's different.
Is it different?
They had a relationship.
Yeah.
They were
But it
together.
turned into a relationship. It could have just been he could have felt pressured to bang his boss to get a raise. Same difference. It would be hypocritical
I don't
not
know
to look
about
at that.
Chief. I don't know about that.
Okay, so
Here's the Lakers. Anyways, the point of what I'm trying to make here is that, listen, the best owners in basketball are not doing what Robert Sarver did. And there was another story that he pantsed an employee.
Okay,
Like,
well,
he
that
just went up and just straight up pantsed them in front of a bunch of people. And I'm like, I'm reading these details. I'm like, this guy is like Michael Scott from The Office.
Yeah.
Yes.
Running the Phoenix Suns.
Well, look, okay, so we have so much to unpack on this story. So we're going to continue the conversation on the podcast broadcast. You can join us there on the Rock 102.1 Facebook page or YouTube and Twitch. All you have to do is search Beef Vegan Presents or youtube.com/Beef Vegan. More with Justin Spears when we return with our celebrity beef of the week. It's Scottie Pippen versus Michael Jordan.
Yes,
and that's a very juicy story as well. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Okay. Let's continue to break down this Sarver because with this Robert, we've been having a good time with this. With this Robert Sarver story, I mean, that's just like the tip of the iceberg of the allegations. So let's keep reading them off. Let's see, because there's a laundry list, which is not a good look. And honestly, the only thing that's even saving him at this point is the fact that the Suns made it to the finals last year.
Yeah.
Or it would be a full-blown lynch mob going after him.
Yes.
Even though it's still a bad look and there's still bad press and people are still coming after him. I feel like the entire public, especially in Phoenix and Arizona, would be like, get rid of this dude immediately.
But a lot of people are kind of starting to turn on him now because you have all of this, and then you couple that with the DeAndre Ayton contract situation.
Okay,
where DeAndre Ayton was due for a max deal. You got Michael Porter Jr. up in Denver signing for a $405 million contract.
Right.
And so when that happened, you assumed, okay, DeAndre Ayton's next in line because DeAndre Ayton's a much better player than Michael Porter Jr.
Yes, and he proved himself.
You may not think DeAndre Ayton's a max contract, but look at the landscape of the NBA. He is worthy of a max deal after what Michael Porter Jr. got, and they didn't give it to him. So are
we going to lose Ayton?
Man, it's a possibility.
Well, then, if that's the case, then this whole conversation about canceling Robert Sarver or even getting him to sell the team is moot because I'll go murder the fucking guy myself. We finally got a big man for the Phoenix Suns. We finally got a legitimate, credible big man that changed the landscapes. Him and Booker, the 1-2, right? Keep them together. Keep him happy. DeAndre Ayton with his history in his state, going to U of A, going to high school in Phoenix. You keep that dude here. You pay him whatever you got to do to keep that dude here.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, man.
Look out.
But there's still a possibility. I mean, he's going to enter restricted free agent, so it's not like he's just going to be able just to completely walk away.
Yeah.
But still, I
hope his heart is with the organization. But
it is. And that's why DeAndre Ayton goes out every single day, is still playing the same way.
Right.
I mean, he sacrificed a lot, and he's a Phoenix Sun through and through. So I give him a ton of credit for being a true professional.
Yeah, but he's not being treated right. And this is, again, goes back to Robert Sarver, and this is how he builds a franchise. This is how he destroyed the team. 17 years. It made me not a Phoenix Suns fan and not even give a shit about them for a good decade. And that's heartbreaking. I was so excited to be back into them over the past couple of years, last year in particular, especially. And I know a lot of fans are exactly like me in that way. And it's not even necessarily fair weather, because it was diehard growing up in Arizona. And then he just broke my heart so many times that I gave up, And then finally just came back. So back to these allegations. I wanted to understand this guy's mindset because there's stories of him dropping the N-bomb. And I was asking myself initially, was it with a hard R or with an A? And the reason why, look, they're both absolutely wrong, right? They're both inappropriate at work, but I want to know what his mindset is. Is he genuinely racist? And then being like, feeling like an NBA owner who's racist, that's like a slave owner. No way, shape, or form is that acceptable in today's age or even back in the day's age. So if he's racist at on any realm, he needs to not be involved in this league or professional sports in general.
You famously heard some coaches talk about like some players like their stock, like it is like that.
Of course, and that's been
Absolutely.
a
I
big
remember
debate.
something like that.
I mean, Colin Kaepernick just kind of pointed that out with NFL owners in his Black or White series on Netflix, which is phenomenal. If you get a chance, check it out.
Blake Griffin. Oh, is it good?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Blake Griffin formerly played for the Clippers, and he said Donald Sterling, that old owner.
Yep.
When he was first drafted by the Clippers, Donald Sterling would like parade him around like he was like this like prized stallion.
Yep.
Wow.
Go to all these different like
and in a way he was like
a
a swinger, so he would have guys bang his wife too. So in a way he was a stallion on many different fronts. I believe so. I'm not making that up. I could be misremembering.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. All right, whatever. I'm pretty sure he had players bang his wife. Back to Sarver real quick. So here's a story that Sarver would say, what was it? Like the N-words want to play for an N-word kind of thing, right?
Wow.
Right. Which is again extremely racist.
Yeah.
But again, with an A or an R, how racist was it?
In that situation, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
That's true. Okay, so
It
still racist.
just doesn't matter. And with Earl Watson, the former head coach, he was talking about Draymond Green. He's like, how come Draymond Green can run up the court and say the N-word? And he actually said it to Earl Watson. And Earl Watson was like, no, don't say that.
Right.
Earl Watson's
You can't
he's
even
a black
quote it.
man.
Yes.
Earl Watson's a black man. He's telling you, don't say that.
Yeah.
And then Robert Sarver's like, well, why? He says it.
Yeah.
Running up and down the court. It's like, no, man.
But see, that's where I want to say, like, and again, not defending Robert Sarver using any of these words. I want to know what his mindset is. Like, is he saying this because he's being racist? He has a spot in his heart or hate in his heart? Or is he saying it because he's one of those douchebags that think, I have a black friend, so I could say it? Right. You know what I mean?
Larry
And it's
Fitzgerald
like,
likes me.
Larry Fitzgerald likes me.
Yeah.
So I could drop the N-bomb, right? You know, I'm saying it with an A. What up, my? Shut up.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. I know,
Yeah.
especially when you're a billionaire, like 60-something-year-old. You just can't.
I forget which comedian, it might be Chris Rock, talks about the thing about being rich and wealthy, and that's those owners. Shaq's rich. The guy who pays Shaq is wealthy. So
Yeah.
it might have been Chris Rock because it's like 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the difference too. It is like sometimes they look at that stuff like property.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about. Property, parading around property.
Yeah.
That's something. I don't know. I think the only time you can get away with saying certain words like that is if you're rapping along with that DMX. The crowd just gets real caught up in it. And sometimes those words go right along with it.
That's true.
I saw that
they showed that in the
documentary
Woodstock.
about
Yeah. But when you're singing along to DMX with like 20, 30,000 people, it's still not right, but it's not like, you're doing it in unison with DMX and singing along. Same thing with karaoke. Like you go to some karaoke bars and if you want a karaoke rap song, it's your best interest not to sing every word.
Yeah.
Say brother instead. That's what I do. Or people.
That's not. Yeah, or people.
Yeah, you could do it.
Or ninja.
No,
Ninja?
I don't even like saying ninja. I think ninja's a little too close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So stop with that. You said, well, I'll go ahead and delete the part where you admitted to saying ninja. How dare you? Unless you're talking about like an ICP fan, then it's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So what do you think, real quick, to wrap up this Robert Sarver? What do you think the fallout's going to be on this? What are the predictions? Is he going to have to sell the team, or is this going to blow over and it'll be business as usual?
I don't know, man. I mean, I know Monty Williams said last night after the game that if this happened if I knew about this, I wouldn't have accepted the job.
Right.
So it's like,
Right.
hearing those comments, it's just, like I said, there are sources in the story that are very credible.
Yes.
And why would they, step forward now? I don't know, but
I'll tell you one thing.
I think it's all voices that need to be taken seriously. And if these are in fact true, then Robert Sarver's got to sell the team.
Yep. And I'll say this too, on top of it, whatever happens, it's going to be very expensive for him. There's no way out of it. he just cost himself a lot of money. All right, so let's hit the reset. I'm going to play a F My Life clip from earlier this morning with Herb Stratford, and we'll be back with Celebrity Beef of the Week, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan with Justin Spears. Check this out.
Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward.
It is awkward. Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupid.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600 KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's time for another round of F My Life. These are emails sent to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. Subject line FML. If you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, give us a call right now. 600 KFMA. That's 600-5362. Even Herb's going to share one of his. We'll get to that in a moment. Powers and Herb are going to weigh in on these F My Lives. This first one was written to us by Priscilla. She wrote, last weekend I was so drunk that I gave my mom's number instead of mine to a really cute guy I met at the bar. I wonder if her mom's going to start dating this dude.
I was gonna say, is that all?
That's all. That's all that Priscilla wrote.
That's not enough.
We say
nothing.
big baby. Yeah.
That's just awkward.
Yeah, the phone call followed through and turned into some. Oh yeah, that's-
Yeah. Email me back when your mom starts banging this dude. For sure. All right. Next up, My Life was written to us from Jared. He said, today my coworker handed me a note. The note said, if you can, please take a shower once in a while. The smell was coming from the broken bathroom next to my office.
Oh.
Yeah, so a little misunderstanding, but now he's the office smelly guy. F My Life, Powers?
No. Stick up for yourself and write a big note or just scream.
It wasn't me.
me.
It's the bathroom.
Toilet's so good.
Herb, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like that's something that'll stick with you. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be the office stinky person for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So I think that's hardcore.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that one.
Spoken from someone who's probably the smelly kid in elementary school. Like, it sticks with you. So we'll agree to disagree and say F My Life, and Power says baby. This next one was written to us by Adam. He said, one time I walked into the kitchen to see my dad peeing into a cup.
Okay.
We made eye contact, and he quickly threw the cup into the sink. Not one word has been spoken about what happened, and I saw my mom use the same cup later on that day.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't on board till the mom used the cup, and then that just sort of I don't know.
Yeah, and you just sat there and didn't say anything while she was sipping
Should
out
have
of
knocked it out of her hand
I
or
wonder if she
something.
was drinking lemonade. Well, I think that's more of a F her life, really.
Well,
Okay. Let's see. Two more left. I got one from Carlos and one from Herb. Okay, so which one should we do first?
Let's go, Carlos.
Okay, Carlos wrote to me, today my brother's girlfriend and my girlfriend went out shopping. My brother's girlfriend bought a pair of killer black heels and a box of condoms. My girlfriend bought a pair of orange Crocs and a vibrator. F My Life. Oh, he's going for the whistle already.
Immediately.
Yeah. You say the same, Herb?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, things don't look good for you, Carlos.
No.
Yeah. All right, Herb, what's your F My Life situation?
All right, so last night I go to a one-night-only screening at Elcon of The Doors' 1968 Hollywood Bowl performance, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remastered. Got a new performance of John and Robbie in the studio playing with these other guys, doing because it's the anniversary of LA Woman being released, right? The Last Doors album.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, all right, this is going to be cool. Like the 68 Hollywood Bowl show was like one of their best shows ever that was recorded. At the end of the show, Morrison's like just totally whacked out on LSD. And it's a nutty show, right? So I'm thinking, cool, I'm going to be able to see this on the big screen. I go there, I get in there, I get in my seat, and all these old hippies start showing up, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, all right, well, they're going to probably be chill. No, they were not chill. They were dancing. They were jumping up. They were yelling back at the screen. It was like you were at a concert with a bunch of drunk hippies.
Nice.
And it sucked. And I paid $12 to go see that. So
all right, F My Life, Powers?
Not exactly the movie-going experience you want. And since that's literally Herb's life, I'll give it to him.
yeah, thank you.
I'm going to say disagree. I'm going to say big baby, man. You had a party show up all around you, and you just poo-pooed the party. You're like,
hey, man,
you guys are having too good of a time.
No,
I'm trying to watch this cinematic experience. My life, and we're back here with Justin Spears from ESPN Radio. Now it's time for the Celebrity Beef of the week. That was my own little. Yeah, you like that?
Special
Yeah,
effect.
that's the budget we have for our. But the beef of the week is Scottie Pippen versus Michael Jordan. Tell me about it, Spears.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it. It's amazing. This is what we need in an era of celebrity boxing matches.
Oh,
We need to see a Scottie Pippen versus Michael Jordan fight.
That's a fight. I feel like Scottie Pippen.
Scotty's got the reach.
I think he's been staying in shape better than Michael Jordan. You've been seeing Michael Jordan like drinking a lot and puffing on cigars like nobody's business.
Yep.
He's got that gut now.
Yep.
But he's an ultimate competitor. So
That's
you
true.
know Michael Jordan's going to bring it.
That's right.
He does
but-
like to scrap too.
Scottie Pippen has this book called Unguarded, and it just came out. And there was an excerpt in GQ magazine, I believe, and it's a part of the book, and it goes into detail about how much he hated watching The Last Dance because it was all about Michael Jordan.
Right.
And he felt like he was just a footnote in the Chicago Bulls' success. And he thinks that when Michael Jordan says, "Oh, that Scottie Pippen was the best teammate ever," he said he couldn't have been more condescending. That was actually what he said. It's like, Scottie, Michael Jordan gave you guys a ton of credit. He said there is no dynasty without Scottie Pippen or Steve Kerr.
That's how I took it.
Yeah.
And that's not how Scottie Pippen took it.
No, not at all. He's like, oh yeah, then give me some of that money, Michael Jordan. I'm broke.
Yeah.
I worked so many years for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jordan kind of hogged all the praise and the money and
Earned.
part
Earned.
of it.
But here's the thing
Okay.
where I kind of rebuttal Scottie Pippen because I think he's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen came at a time and took the Bulls over the top.
Yes.
But when he first got to the NBA, Michael Jordan was already Michael Jordan,
True.
right? You had the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. You had Bird versus Magic, and then you also sprinkle in some Isaiah Thomas of the Bad Boy Pistons team.
Yep.
But Michael Jordan was the NBA's budding star.
Yes.
They looked at that. David Stern, the NBA commissioner, looked at that as, bam, that's the ticket to global popularity.
True.
That's the guy that's going to take us all over the map. And sure enough, it came to fruition. Michael Jordan was that guy. It's just he was only that guy with the Chicago Bulls and had zero help whatsoever. So, of course, they always ran into the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons and the Celtics and always lost. But once they got Scottie Pippen and all the supporting cast members and really made it a team, that's when the dynasty took off. So Scottie Pippen took the Bulls over the top. But come on now. The Chicago Bulls are not the Chicago Bulls without Michael Jordan.
Well, everyone
Period.
knows that. But Scottie did go ham on Jordan, calling him selfish in The Last Dance. And he says, and I quote, you want to know what selfish is? Selfish is retiring right before the start of training camp when it's too late for the organization to sign free agents. He's holding the grudge because this was the year that Jordan went to go play baseball. They couldn't get any free agents to be a number two to Scottie's number one. They had Tony Kukoc. They had a decent team, but they definitely didn't have a championship team. And so the Bulls suffered because of it. So that's one of the things that Scottie Pippen's throwing out at Michael Jordan.
But you can't just like, oh, let's go out and find another Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
He steps away. He's like, all right, we got to find a replacement. Oh, Michael Jordan, damn you, because we couldn't find your replacement. It's like, dude, there is no replacement for Michael Jordan whatsoever.
Okay.
So how could you just plug in a guy and expect to get back into the championship? I don't know.
These are quotes from his book Unguarded, which comes out next Tuesday. Here's one last quote that we'll leave you with. Scottie Pippen says, Michael and I aren't close and never have been. Boom. And I thought that was Robin to his Batman. So
yeah. You know what I think about Pips that I'm having a problem with? Like, he had a renaissance of a career of popularity. Like, they gave him the statue to like honor him, right? Didn't they make a statue of him? And then also, like, he's in a commercial, like, ironically, as himself, and like getting some weird notoriety because, like, yeah, Scottie Pippen deserves some spotlight. So, like, humanity has been like, yeah, let's elevate Scottie Pippen. And now he's all crying about stuff from this documentary. Come on.
Yeah. Well, that's still the beef of the week. So this is where we stand. It looks like you guys are Team Jordan on this one.
Yes, 100%.
I understand Scottie Pippen. I say, you know what? I know you had a rough couple of years with your wife and life kind of falling apart, but you still got some money. And I think as far as a backup career, you should be the new Barry White. because Scottie Pippen's voice is amazing.
Where's
You
his
know?
album? Let's drop that album,
Absolutely.
Scotty.
Yeah.
I just need him reading things.
I'm not a big fan of Mike.
Yeah. You gotta go deeper than that.
We were never really close friends.
Yeah.
Never have, never will be.
We'll have more with Justin Spears from ESPN Radio. Plus, on the podcast broadcast stream, we'll find out why Powers is wearing that silly hat.
He said that I took that personally.
Yeah, and I took that personally. Be right back after this. Clear.
So I'm like, oh, what's that mean? What's he say? Oh, I took that personally.
I took that personally. His voice is amazing,
So
though.
funny.
In fact, I was sleeping to The Last Dance when it was coming out. I would put it on. I don't know how many times I've watched episodes all the way through. Several times. All like 10 episodes of that documentary. It's fantastic. It was, entertaining, informative, and nostalgic, right? It kind of it checked all the boxes. And especially even the episode where the Bulls face the Suns in the finals. I watched that one like 10 times. But part of the reason why I'd watch it is a great thing to put on in the background because it would run for 10 hours. And then when Scottie Pippen would talk, I would just fall right to sleep. I was like I was rocked to sleep by the bass in his voice, the tone. I'm like, damn, Scotty, it's smooth.
That's so funny.
It just, if like bourbon was a sound,
Yes.
that's Scottie Pippen's voice.
That's amazing.
I'll tell you what, and there's a doctor recently who's been getting kind of internet famous because he put the correlation together. You could judge a man's manhood by the size of his nose, right? Saying the bigger and longer the nose, the longer the dong, and this can be proven, right? Yeah, and then we're all sitting here with kind of dainty noses. So sorry, ladies.
I've always been made fun of.
Right.
Fine.
But Scottie Pippen's nose, that's a schnoz. He's got a nose. Yeah. So I'm guessing he's at least 17 inches. Limp. Yeah. So it's like, give that man an MVP trophy just for that.
Good Lord.
Oh, man.
All right, let's get into today's headlines. Here's our headlines today. Top 5 headlines that are making the news that we didn't get to on the show. Newsmax anchor has been taken off the air after saying the vaccine had a satanic tracker in it. Yeah, and encouraged viewers to read the Old Testament to see how this ends.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, this was legitimate.
Definitely.
She was taken off the air for saying this. But yeah, they took her off the air because now she's president of the network.
I was about so funny. Did they take her over there to give her
what?
They gave her a promotion.
No, he's making that. That's the punchline of the joke.
These are jokes here.
Okay.
Spears. Headlines.
Yes.
Okay. Next headline.
You baffled.
Mark Zuckerberg continues to tout his upcoming metaverse, that it will be a virtual world where you can work out with trainers and meet up with friends, which is a function Zuckerberg added after someone explained to him what friends were. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will miss Sunday's game against the Kansas City Chiefs after tested positive for COVID-19. Rodgers had told reporters over the summer he was vaccinated, but it turns out he was not. Yeah. When he said he got the Johnson & Johnson, it turned out just to be baby powder. Did you hear this? Aaron Rodgers is not vaccinated?
Yeah, I'm immunized.
Immunized. Oh,
that's what he
had
said
it before.
That's what he said.
That's a pretty dumb statement.
Yeah, I'm immunized.
It's going to be interesting to see how COVID, like how he's handling it. I mean, if he had COVID before and he dealt all right and he has antibodies, then he should be okay. But if he is like taken out for the rest of the season because of COVID, will he look like a dipshit? Answer's yes.
Yes.
What do you think? How's he holding up right now? Do you know?
I mean, I haven't heard anything about like symptoms or what he's been up to, but since he's not vaccinated, I mean, he's going to miss this week, and there's a possibility he's also going to miss next week too.
Brutal.
Most likely just
not vaxxed.
Yeah.
Because if you're vaccinated, it's easy to get back on the field. If you're not, man, it's quite the uphill battle.
Yeah, you'll still like be tested as positive, and who knows what the long-term effects, especially at his age.
Yeah,
he's in mid-40s and stuff. He's like mid-40-year-old people are dropping like flies with this virus. So crazy. But with his man bun, it didn't surprise me.
Knock on some wood.
I know,
just in case.
But yeah, it didn't surprise me at all.
And what's ironic is he's a Cal alum. He played for the Cal Golden Bears in college. And Cal, they're playing Arizona this weekend. According to multiple reports, Cal has some COVID issues on their team.
Of course.
So yeah,
it's brutal.
So earlier we were talking about some of that professional wrestling, and a bunch of people, they just let a bunch of people go. Rumor has it some of them were let go because they weren't vaccinated.
Like it's probably a company policy. Well, because any company over 100 people, and it's like a government mandate, Obviously, WWE has over 100 people. Our company has over 100 people.
And
so.
travel and do that. Imagine just one person's going to like, oh, well, now you cost us thousands of dollars by infecting all these people. That's why. Like, take all that out of it. It doesn't matter. Like, you being here now just cost us this many thousands of dollars because all these people cannot show up now.
Yeah.
So the dominoes are all falling left and right. It kind of makes company control sense.
Yeah. So crazy. All right. A couple more headlines to share real quick. Food prices continue to soar because of inflation. Oh, I read this one yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Are they delicious?
No, it's true. At KFC, a breast and a wing now costs an arm and a leg.
Ah, boom! I'm glad I made you do
I'm
that.
glad you like that. I'm glad you like that one. Yes.
Ah,
That's great.
Thank you. All right, real quick, we're hitting the reset. We got more with Spears coming up here next, but Herb Stratford, he gave us a movie review off air. You guys didn't hear this on Rock 102.1. Spencer stars Kristen Stewart. She plays Princess Diana, and it actually turns out to be a pretty good movie. Herb is buzzing on it, and here's his review for Spencer. Check it out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. This is a Beefy Presents web exclusive. Hanging out here with movie critic Herb Stratford, who recently saw the movie Spencer, which is coming out this weekend, starring Kristen Stewart, who recently got engaged. Oh yeah. So it's been a big week for Kristen Stewart. And here with the movie review is Herb. So you saw this when?
Yesterday. I watched it yesterday.
Okay. And what's your takeaway for Spencer?
I dug it. I got to tell you, when I first saw the production shots of her as Princess Diana, and just, I guess we should preface this by saying the story of Spencer is basically a weekend that Princess Di had with the royal family, a Christmas weekend up at one of their castles, right?
Uh-huh.
And this was sort of the final straw. And this is when she decided, you know what? F my life, I'm out.
Yes.
and so, this is, based on real stuff. I mean, obviously there was no one there. It's not a documentary. No one was there watching her, but I mean, it's based on, accounts from other people who were there and who were part of the whole thing. And, she's gone, right? So she can't dispute anything. But this is by director Pablo Larraín, who did the Jackie movie with
Chadwick Boseman.
No. Jackie.
Jackie O.
Jackie O. With Natalie Portman.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And so he's the director. I think he's from Peru or Chile or something. He's a fascinating director. So having his perspective on this, it's beautifully filmed. I mean, it's just remarkable film. And she disappears in the role. I mean, you are like, that's Princess Diana. I mean, that is not Kristen Stewart at all. You're just like, wow.
Is she that good of an actress she's able to pull this off?
She is. She really is. And you're going to see her get nominated for all kinds of awards. She's really great. And Timothy Spall is also sort of one of the main kind of guys that's sort of watching her, one of the household staff. And he's great. And, I was thinking, because I'm into The Crown, I was thinking, Emma Corrin does such a great job as Princess Diana in that show, The Crown on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was like, do I really want to see another Princess Diana? Absolutely. This is just really well done. She's great. Definitely, if you have any sort of interest in the royal family or Princess Diana, I mean, it's a tragic story. So it's really interesting to see what, sort of her emotional roller coaster. And God, the British royal family is just horrible.
That's what we're finding out.
We keep discovering.
With shows like The Crown and all these, movies. But why wouldn't they be? They've been in power for centuries, right? So,
it's just, but they could be nicer. You know what I mean? And she's just,
no.
The royal family, but they could be nicer.
Yeah. No, as my uncle used to say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. My uncle used to say that.
Marvel, Stanley. Yeah.
Okay, my Uncle Stan. So we're still on the Marvel tip, just a little bit. She looks gorgeous in this film, but is that going to be a takeaway? Because Princess Diana was a beautiful woman, but I'm looking at Kristen Stewart in this film, and I'm like, she's a little more beautiful than Princess Di.
Well, the thing about Kristen Stewart, too, is she's really skinny. You know what I mean? Like, all these actresses are really skinny. I mean, look, Angelina Jolie looks like you could break her in half.
Right,
going back to Eternals.
That would be my pickup line if I met her.
I was saying, I would love it.
Mm-hmm. It's the goal.
All righty.
Idiots.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is Kristen Stewart. The funny thing about Kristen Stewart is she gets hung a lot with this, Twilight girl, whatever. It's like, put that away. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That gave her
that's
these
old.
other roles.
Like 20 years
And
ago.
you know,
almost.
she actually hated doing them by the time she was done. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this crap. But it gave her her career.
Mhm.
And if you actually look at her list, go on IMDb and look at some of these films. She did a movie with James Gandolfini that is really remarkable, where she's like a stripper. I mean, there's some really great stuff that she's done. She's a very good actress, and it's nice to see that. And also, like you just mentioned, she's engaged now to a woman, and it's nice to see that she's found somebody in her life and
a lot of happiness and
Yep.
success.
Absolutely.
So, to answer the question, is Spencer worth seeing in theaters?
Yes, 2 thumbs up.
There you have
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Yes. So go see Spencer and report back. Comment below if you saw it and you agree with Herb's critique. We'll be back after this. We won't, actually. It's a clip. So I could pick the opposite. And I think that's the reason why I've been losing some money.
All right.
Yeah. So let's start with the Cardinals. The Cardinals are trying to bounce back against the Browns. They had their first loss against Green Bay Packers, but in a revenge move, they gave Aaron Rodgers COVID. So, you know, if you don't beat him in the game, beat him in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
He's
I
not going to be a
guess.
concern in the playoffs. I don't know if he'll make it.
Cold as ice.
Seriously, you know. So the Cardinals are facing the Browns. The Browns are a good team.
No, they got the 49ers this week.
Oh, yeah, actually. But even with the 49ers are kind of bouncing back. And the Cardinals only a 2-point favorite in this game. Is that because J.J. Watt's out? And who else is out that's going to make a big difference in this game?
Well, we don't know about Kyler Murray.
Oh,
and his ankle injury. So
I've been hearing, though, like the rumor and buzz is that he'll be okay.
Okay.
He'll play. Now, if his ankle's jacked, though, that will affect his running. And
Yeah.
If it affects his running, it affects his game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes Kyler Murray such a great quarterback is when he's able to kind of get out, improvise, do things on the fly, and utilize his feet. And if you take away that element, the Cardinals kind of lose a dimension of their offense. So
Right.
if he is ready to go, man, it's going to be tough. But if he isn't, Cardinals are going to have to rely on backup quarterback Colt McCoy. Remember that name?
Yeah, I remember that dude, too. Not good.
Yeah. So
It's not good. It just isn't.
Here's the thing, though. If Kyler Murray's ready to go, I still think Cardinals are talented enough to get a win on the road. So I'll go with the Cardinals in this game.
Okay, well, I guess I have to pick the Browns. Now, if he is
Niners?
somewhat... Or,
That's
yeah,
how bad he's going to
damn
pick the
it.
Browns.
Yeah, that's
Not
how
gonna do well.
I know, such an idiot. But no, I will say this, though. If there is a chance of his ankle being sore or a chance of him injuring it worse, would it be wiser for the Cardinals to just sit Murray and go 7-2, possibly?
Yeah, because you need him for the long haul.
Hell yeah, you do.
So don't jeopardize your season for a win over a divisional opponent.
Yeah.
I know this game is important, but you also have to think you guys are Super Bowl contenders. That should be the ultimate goal. That's the big picture. Stay focused on that.
Absolutely. I don't know if Coach Cliff will make the right decision because, if anything, sometimes he makes some pretty bonehead decisions. So we'll see if Kyler Murray starts this Sunday, fingers crossed, for just best outcome, no matter what happens, right? What are some other takeaway games that we should be looking for this weekend?
Oh, boy. I mean, let's see here. I'm looking at the schedule right now. Green Bay against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now you could go for the Chiefs. Chiefs might finally win because Green Bay don't have a quarterback. Thanks, COVID.
Yeah. And the Chiefs are in desperate need of some good fortune.
They've been terrible
because they've been awful this season. And it's a big part of attrition, right? They're not staying healthy. Guys are getting banged up. And, I think they've kind of plateaued a little bit and the rest of the league has caught up to them.
Yep.
So I don't see the Chiefs getting back into the Super Bowl picture again this season. But with that being said, this is a gift for them. Aaron Rodgers being out. It's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs can handle this game. So that's one game to keep an eye on. The Tennessee Titans against the Los Angeles Rams. Derrick Henry is out for the season, but the Titans signed Adrian Peterson. This week.
Yeah.
So AD, as they call all day.
Yeah.
He's joining the Titans, and then the LA
He's
Rams.
90 years old, just sprinting down the field.
Then the Rams just signed, or they just traded for Von Miller from the Denver Broncos.
That's
So
a good
you got Von Miller, Aaron Donald, then you got Jalen Ramsey on the back end in the secondary.
Okay, no, he's just a Los Angeles fan. Pay no mind to everybody.
No, I'm a
He's
Chargers fan.
Yeah. But still, you're an LA fan in general. You're getting excited. I'm like, uh-oh.
They're a good team, man.
Take that with a grain of salt. Let's hit the reset real quick. We got more Beef Vegan Presents. We're going to wrap it up with a beef tip after this break. Stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Sorry, yeah, I had to do that for time.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
I'll be more efficient.
No, you're good. I just have some weird stop sets. So I got a long ass stop set.
Cool.
But yeah, so the Chargers are looking good then. Is it the stadium?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the Rams haven't been doing spectacular. They've had some down weeks.
Yeah.
But that stadium is fantastic. Have you been there yet?
So I went there this past weekend, not on the inside of it though, because I had an early flight in the afternoon, so I could only go see the outer concourse. But yeah, it's beautiful.
This is how much of a fan Spears is of his team. He'll go there just to stare at the outside of a stadium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, magic happens inside there.
I'm not gonna spend $150 on a ticket just so I can leave at halftime.
Super expensive. I get that too. And then what about Las Vegas? You've been to the Las Vegas Stadium?
Yeah, I've been inside Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, Allegiant Stadium. Of course, that's brand new. Yes.
Fortress.
And I'm jealous of that because seriously, yeah, straight up fortress. And then, of course, it's got to look cool too because it's Raider colors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's black and silver everywhere, shiny.
Giant Roomba. That's what it looks like.
It looks like a giant Roomba. Yes, that's the best way to describe it. And with the nightclub in the end zone and like all different types of stuff, there's going to be some big events in Allegiant Stadium with concerts. And hell, they might even attempt, if they build up UFC stars big enough, to sell out that shit with a UFC fight.
Yeah.
There isn't really anyone right now that could do that, though. I mean, to be honest with you, with the downward spiral of Conor McGregor, they just need some big stars to step up.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, someone to be a big star. I don't know where charisma is in the UFC, but it's always rare.
Yeah. I mean, it happens that Patty.
Boxing, too. You need a little more charisma.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that always make the headlines.
Didn't Canelo fight somebody and didn't they do it in Cowboy Stadium?
Yeah, I think that's a
Canelo
Google
Pacquiao?
question. That's a Google question. Was it Pacquiao? And the thing, I don't know if they even sold it out though.
Okay.
And that would be a shitty place to see a fight. I mean, I don't know. I guess the
They got
difference
that big
between
screen.
Allegiant, Cowboy Stadium and LA Stadium, they have those giant screens. So I guess it doesn't matter where you are. You're just watching a big ass TV and then you have thousands of people around you.
Yeah.
All right. Tell people why you're wearing the hat real quick before we play Macho News.
Because I had it. That's why.
Say it into the mic.
I
Stop saying it
was
into the
shouting
screen.
at these people.
I
I'm
know.
looking at them. It's because I had it. I was cleaning the house. I got this beard left over from being Genie. I was Abraham Lincoln the other day. And I figured, I found this fun shirt that I never wear. It's long sleeves, Pirate
Radio, yeah.
Found an eye patch at the same time in the hat. I'm like, you know what? Looks like I dressed myself and I'm ready to go.
Found it. He was looking through his drawers. This guy
I cleaned my whole everything yesterday. I color coded my closet.
Yeah, when your powers every day is Halloween.
That's
it's
right.
Fantastic.
That's right.
And this morning, of course, the Macho Man Randy Powers popped in and gave us all the news of the WWE's latest round of cuts. There was a lot of drama in the world of professional wrestling, and it went a little something like this. Check it out. Things been happening in the world of professional wrestling, and here to report on that is professional wrestling expert, the Macho Man, Randy Powers. Good morning.
Oh, yeah, Beef. It's good to see you here on the Friday morning. Feeling good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's good to hear from you again. It's been a hot minute, but the world of professional wrestling right now is making some pretty big moves and some shocking cuts.
A lot of shakeups happening. Yeah, a lot of bad news. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm famous for the macho madness, but I'm filled with a little macho sadness.
Oh, no, that's not good, Macho
good
Man.
at all. No. You see, a lot of these professional wrestlers, they're just trying to make a living here in the World Wrestling Federation, and you know what happened the other day?
What?
They fired about over 24 of them.
24?
Yeah, it was a good amount of people were let go and just said, we wish you well in our future endeavors there.
Man, they keep making these big cuts. 24 wrestlers. I can't imagine that there wasn't any big names on this
There's
list.
quite a few big names. I'm not going to list them all. I'm going to list the top names that might be familiar.
What's the most surprising cut?
Eva Marie came back, and now she's gone. Harry Smith, son of the British Bulldog, he's out. Keith Lee, the Bearcat, no, not anymore. Karrion Kross came out in a tennis skirt. They sent him on his way too.
They did that to him.
They did. Grand Metalik. Some of your favorite Lucha House Party members gone. Done. The party's over.
The party is over for the Lucha Party Bros. Keith Lee, I thought they were going to strap a rocket to his ass and shoot him to the moon because he seemed to have all the tools to be an over talent in the WWE. What happened?
Keith Lee, one of the best walking around here. Big man walking around. Maybe not wrestling as big a man as some McMahons like. That's what I hear. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Karrion Kross, they destroyed.
They
so we know that.
did.
Eva Marie was hired like 6 months ago. and fired 6 months later.
And pretty much I'd say she didn't really do much there. I'm a bigger fan of Dewdrop.
Yeah, she never does anything.
But let's talk about a bigger girl because there's one big surprise that made that list.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
Nia Jax was let go.
Nia Jax, The Rock's cousin, Nia
Yes,
Jax?
Everyone thought to be a lifer there at the WWE, but no.
Oh, I hear there's rumors and speculation as to why she got cut. Is it because she's unsafe?
It seems like she might be more unsafe than some might think because she might be refusing to get vaccinated and still walking around that place causing a bunch of trouble. So they're like, no.
Oh, Nia Jax is anti-vax.
It seems like that might be the case. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder how many other people on this list got cut strictly for the fact that they would not take the vaccine.
Who knows? But they're a big corporation. You can't be infecting thousands of people walking around the offices. You travel country to country and place to place. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's true.
That's
All right.
good.
Excellent job in reporting the world of wrestling news, Macho Man Randy Powers.
That's happening. That WWE. You got to love it. The most. Ring of Honor went out of business. Unfortunately, contracts up. And one Danhausen broke his leg. He's got a rocket. He'll be back next year. We wish getting Wellhausen to Danhausen.
Oh, very well played.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit the reset. When we return, we'll give away some concert tickets and have some fun. All you got to do is beat Austin in the game. That's coming up next on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents.
Dig it.
On the next L.A. Lloyd Rock 30.
Hey, it is L.A. Lloyd.
All right, and then we're back here about to get a minute before we go back on the air. Since we only got a minute, let's play a game.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, Spears. One round of the last word. Okay.
Oh, man. All right.
You versus Powers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here it is. Spears started off. Name something that will exist in 100 years. Go.
Microwave.
Okay.
Twinkies.
Okay.
Barbecue sauce.
Fossils.
Ketchup.
Don't just name condiments, but
Yeah.
my human skull, my skull.
Okay.
Netflix.
Yo.
You think
Yeah.
that? I'd say more Disney Plus is going to scoop that up.
Social media.
No.
Keep going.
The internet.
Yes.
Okay. Prisons.
Okay. Yes. Powers in for the win. Yeah. You went on a condiment run. You hungry?
I am.
Prison in your own mind.
We got about 12 seconds. Gonna wrap things up with the beef tip and then get out of here. Thank you guys for listening to the show and watching the podcast as always. And we'll be back on Monday morning with Mari. Rock 102.1. We're almost out of here. I'd like to thank my guest this morning, Austin, who popped in for a couple hours. Her film critic, Herb Stratford. Of course, Justin Spears from ESPN Radio. You can check him out today from 3 to 6. Spears and Ali are on ESPN 104.9 and 1490 AM. And, of course, Powers. But before we leave, let me leave you with this. A recent study showed that breakups are harder on men than women. It's actual fact. So if you see one of your buddies having a hard time because of a breakup, don't be mad at him. He's just biologically prone to taking it a little bit harder. It's easy for women to bounce back, and get another person to bang them. It's harder for us to find someone willing to see us naked. So here's the beef tip to you. Okay.
Go on.
You got to get back on the horse. So no matter how much it hurts, rebound away, my friends, because the quickest way to get over someone is to get under someone. And that is a fact.
Do you want me to bang a horse?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys for listening to the show. We'll be back Monday morning. Riley's up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.